and welcome back. I heard that y'all are not a tornado, but y'all stay blowing us away. And to that we say, hell yeah.
I like that one.
Anyway, guys, today we're back with another Tubi original movie, another entrant into the Tubi movie hierarchy of cinema. Today's title is called Safehouse. The movie was made in 2023, this year, and it was directed and written by Mr. Paul Street. Starring
Not Chris Stokes?
I was just about to say that.
Skippy. I wouldn't. I can't. Absolutely not. Not this time. Not this
Had
time.
to get out of his universe.
Not that you're not getting better, Chris, but not this time.
Mm-hmm.
And starring
Next
Miss
time.
Alondra Delgado. Alondra Delgado. Yes.
That's the girl, the main
Yes.
character?
Yes, that is.
So-
That is Carla, the main character.
I kept looking at her like, I know her face. So I looked up her name and everything. She actually, I don't know. Y'all watch All American?
Mm-hmm.
I'm aware of it. I've never watched an
I
episode.
watch All American.
So season 3, when I can't remember if they came back from summer or from spring break, when Asher fell for that like Hispanic girl and her mom ended up being their new football coach. That's her. She played the Hispanic girl that Asher was digging.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Well-
Okay. I didn't realize that.
Well,
Yeah.
Alondra is stepping up in the world. She got a lead role this time.
Yeah, she did well. I liked her in this.
So, a real quick overview of the movie, guys. Safe House is about a young Mexican medical student who family gets mixed up in the cartel and she becomes a target, and then she is playing a game of cat and mouse with the CIA, the cartels, and the government trying to save her own life. It's a wonderful tale, a heroine, and we're going to jump right into it. So, guys, our story takes place in Mexicali, Mexico. And you see a news report that there are 2 cartel members that are on trial to be executed, and another one that they're trying to get on trial, and that there are witnesses that they're going to move. So that's already the backdrop. You know what's going on. You see a young girl. She's moving about in scrubs, and you realize she's some type of healthcare professional, and so she's checking on her patients. Come to find out, she's in medical school right now, and so she goes home, and her brother. Her mother doesn't live with her. She lives with her brother, and her mother lives back in the States and has since she was a child. And so she lives with her brother, and her brother checks on her, but you can see that he's kind of nefarious, and you can see that he's kind of in that life. Turns out that he is in that life, guys. He is part of the cartel, but he's a snitch. That's right, a snitch. And he's been selling out cartel members to the Border Patrol.
What is that? What was that you just held up?
Oh, this is my magnifying glass, so I can see.
Oh, I know.
That's what this is.
I was a liquid in the
That's
tube.
not important, listeners. It's a magnifying glass. You should all keep one.
I got distracted.
Magnifying glass.
Wow,
I get that. I understand. Shiny
That's
things.
really old. I
A
never
magnifying glass. You don't see those anymore.
But proceed.
When I see you, I'm gonna tell you some old shit. When I see you, I'm gonna cut you. Okay, now that's some old shit right there. All right, so with an old blade too, a rusty one.
Not
Anyway.
rusty, but you trying to kill him and give a tetanus? What is it?
She's up to date on her shots. She goes to the doctor. It's fine.
Yeah, anywho.
Okay, don't worry. I'm sorry, guys.
Her brother being a snitch.
That's right. Brother is a snitch. Dirty bastard. Anyway, so he's been snitching out people to the Border Patrol. Either way, but the climate in Mexicali is a very hostile one right now. So you see 2 young boys, and they actually find a dead body, and that dead body is $1 in the bill in the woman's mouth, and it reads snitch on it. You know, crazy. And so that morning, they go their separate ways. She goes to school and she learns that, the Hippocratic Oath, that it doesn't matter what's going on, you need to save the life. You're not there to judge or to be the jury. You're there just to save lives. So that's on her mind. So hold on to that. So now the brother goes and meets with some informant, some, federal officer or whatever, Border Patrol agent, and gives them another name. They give him some money. And he's like, hey, you might want to slow down because your friend, they found her this morning with $1 in her mouth, said snitch on it. He's like, whatever, I'm good. You knew that was it for him.
Mm-hmm.
So
last words.
But the movie gets going quickly, y'all. So then they go home and, they're talking, and all of a sudden you see him packing his bag with a gun and stuff. He's like, yo, we need to leave town for a few days. But he's so casual about it. You'd have thought like he was taking a
vacation.
Right. She's like, you're starting to scare me. No, it's good, baby. We just go. Checking the gun. We just go. All the bullets are in here. We're just going to leave town for a couple of days. And then, of course, at that moment, the cartel shows up. Ready. They sent 2 niggas after him. Now, I'm not going to lie. The formation that came to the door, it feels like you could have just waited and shot them both. But they decided to leave. So whatever. It's fine. Yeah. So they bounce out the door. And, of course, the cartel... That's true, too. A lot of people can't shoot. That's definitely a real thing. So they decide to leave. They bolt. They do the rabbit thing. The cartel gets him, shoot him like a dog in the street. They shoot him a couple times, and then to make sure for good measure, come put one in his head. Crazy. So now, of course, they can't leave an active witness. So they get his bag with the money, of course, and they go look after her. So now they chase her around, and she finds a junkyard, right? I don't know why there's this random junkyard here, but it's there. And so she's hiding, playing cat and mouse, and they just popping off gun rounds in the junkyard. Talk about, I thought these were concise killers, apparently not. And so all of a sudden, so then they even nick her in her arm. So now she's wounded, but she doesn't know where to go. And she sees these 2 wooden grates. So she pushes them aside and sees that there's a tunnel. Who did? And so they jump in this. So she jumps in the tunnel and goes. Now, I would think that smartness would kick in and you'd push the grate back over so they wouldn't.
That's what I thought she was going to do.
Yeah, but, whatever.
I guess she didn't have enough time to try to reach back up and do all that. Right.
She didn't know. I get it. This is she's never run from somebody shooting at her before. I get it. I understand. So she goes in the tunnel, right? Much like a Vietnam tunnel, like a very small situation. She's crawling under. So they see her and they look and they try to go in the tunnel and shoot after her. But they're like, it doesn't even matter. Who gives a shit? We got the money anyway. Let's bounce. So they leave her, right? And so now all of a sudden she goes to the end of the tunnel. Now, apparently she's a little claustrophobic because now she gets to the end and she's like, I can't get out. And then all of a sudden she pushes up and then she pushes the door open and she's like, yo, what the fuck? Where am I? So she ends up in like some type of like warehouse garage because she sees like construction equipment and she's just like, okay, where am I? Now again, she's hurt, so she's looking for medical attention. So she gets up, she goes in there, she goes up to the house, right? She sees the hacienda and she goes in there and she says hello, she says all the stuff, but she doesn't see anybody. It looks deserted. But the house is not just any old house. Like you see camera equipment and stuff, like you see, and so you're like, okay, what kind of fucking house is this? And so then all of a sudden she's walking around and then a lady comes out with the blicker. Actually, it's more than a blicker. She came out with a cannon. She came out with a shotgun, popping rounds at this girl. Boom, boom. She's like, yo, what's up? What's going on? And then she tries to go hide and stumbles upon another dead body. And this dude is all fucked up. So like, she just don't know what's going on. There's a whole pool of blood. She is blood now. Shit is crazy. And so then she's looking at the attacker, and the attacker's like, get out here right now. I'm going to shoot you. And then she gets out and sees that the girl is injured. She's like, hey, you're bleeding out. I can help you. And she's like, no, whatever. She passes out from her wounds, right? So then, since she passes out from the wounds, she goes and tries to get her to the bed. She gets her, and she gets a bullet out of her, and she starts operating on her. I didn't see her wash her hands. I'm just going to put that out there.
I thought the same thing, because she already had blood on him.
Right. I just felt like, what if he had something? Right. Ebola, some shit. I don't know, but I'm just saying she should have washed her hands. But whatever.
Yeah.
We appreciate that you act. She's still in medical school, guys. She's still in school.
That's med school 101. That's first day. Before you touch anything.
Maybe not. I don't know. Look, I've never been. I don't want to hate on Mexico, but I'm saying it is in Mexico, so I don't know what they're teaching them there. But either way. Regardless. So then all of a sudden she's doing that, and then she gets bonked in the head, right? So this dude bonks her, really hard, knocks her right the fuck out. And so then she wakes up and she's tied up. She's like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm trying to help you and y'all tying me up. And so then he's like, I don't understand what's going on. So then you realize he's a federal agent. So he's trying to piece together what happened. And so you realize the other girl is a federal agent too. And he's like, shit, we've been ambushed.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Les, stopping by to let you know we have new merch dropping. Check it all out at culture101podcast.com.
Because their CI, the guy that was dead.
Valdez?
Valdez, thank you. The S's get me every time. Alvarez, Valdez, Marquez, all of them get me. It's a problem. Anyway,
Enrique.
So Valdez is dead. He is dead. And so they're like, damn, what the fuck happened? And so they're thinking that she did it. They're thinking she's the hit.
Right.
I'm like, y'all know better. Y'all know better, but whatever. So then they quickly figure, so then the two agents, now they're two agents and they're trying to put it all together and they're like, okay, so what happened? And then he takes her away and then she tells him what happened, how she got there. She shows him the tunnel and she's like, I was trying to save her life. And she's like, okay, all right. But then they come back with another CI and it's a lady. Her name is Paulina Alvarez. Now, this is important because she is directly tied to the case that's going on right now. So these are her protectors right now as she's getting ready to testify. Mm-hmm. So we find out that this is a safe house. So, and that's the title of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're just trying to figure out, what to do with these people. So now they're like, hey, we have an extra body here, and we have somebody that's hurt, and we have the CI, and we need to move them. This place is no longer safe. They're like, no, you're going to stay there with everything that's going on right now at the border and the case and everything. Y'all need to stay here. So, because they call in, he even tried to go and take homegirl away to go and drop her off at the border because he thinks that's the right thing to do. In the midst of all of that, a couple things happen. So right before they get ready to leave, a maid comes to the place because they're the cleaner. Why not? You have a house, you have a cleaner, right? Well, the person that got shot was supposed to cancel the service. Now, right. But, somebody got to clean it.
That house don't look like they hire cleaners, but I'd let that go.
Right. Oh, it's worth noting that tunnel took her to America. So Mexicali is right on the border, guys. And, much like a Juarez or like a El Paso, so it took her over the border. Now, I'm not sure if it took her to the Texas. I'm pretty sure it took her to the Cali side.
I think it was Cali because she said her mom lived in Torrance, and that's California.
She said her mom lived in Torrance, but they didn't say they were in Torrance. So I just assumed.
Well, yeah, but I assumed it was the Cali side.
That's a good point. Look at you, you're stupid sleuth.
Because if he drove, I don't want to get too much away. If he drove her to California, Texas and California, that's far. So she would have had to be on the California side for him to drive her.
Right, but we'll get there. Anyway, so then as they're putting all the pieces together, he decides, all right, I'm going to leave her. I'm going to just try to talk to my handler and see if I can tell my handler to do, and we have to remove the body. So they had to take the body to the handler so they could try to plead his case, right? So they're driving there. Now, while they're gone, right, I told you that cleaner sees, or right before they leave, the cleaner sees Alvarez. The cleaner sees him. They're like, hey, you need to leave. So they send the cleaner away, right? So now while they're gone, everything happens in motion. So the cleaner goes home and now what people don't realize is that there's about $1 million bounty out for Alvarez online. It became public within like a few hours of all of these things happening. So the federal agents aren't even aware of this.
Right.
So again, as he's going to see the handler, right, the maid goes home and she tells her brother about this, right? And the brother's like, oh, that's the girl? You sure this is who you saw? So he decides to try to set it up where we can try to get this money. So put a pin in that. Now, back at the hacienda, right, all you have is if you have the girl that's on the bed who was bleeding, right? So she was knocked out. You have the one federal agent, and you have Miss Paulina Alvarez, still that's the CI. Okay. So now the homegirl who is shot, she wakes up. She's like, okay, she's up. She's up and about. I'm like, good to see her. She's well, right? So then she goes in the drawer and she finds a gun. Right? No, because I was happy that I'm like, damn, girl, you got shot. That's fucked up. Like,
So, I don't know she was well. She was alive. I don't know about well.
Right, but like, you're up, you're about. I'm just saying, you're gonna make it. That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
She was stable. So she goes in the drawer and she finds a gun. She did not go to the gun cabinet. Now, the gun cabinet originally, which is when they were piecing it together, they saw that the lock was like broken off. And they were like, why was it broken off? So they just didn't know what happened. They were like, did somebody get scared because of the bounty? Because now they're figuring out about the bounty. Because at this time, he finally meets up with the handler, and the handler's telling him about the bounty, telling him that I'm going to take the body from you, but you got to go back and you got to do something with her. I can't do nothing with her. You got to figure it out. So he's like, God damn it. So he decides to go on back. Right. Now, again, during that time, that lady gets up, right? Again, she's not super well, but she's there. And she finds that gun. It was her that shot fucking Valdez because she goes after Paulina. She sees her with mad intent. She didn't even blink. Right. So then she gets shot in the shoulder. And then she pops the other Fed. So we're thinking he's dead. So now they're fighting. So Paulina Alvarez and that lady, Elwood, I think is her name. She's over here fighting. They're tussling for the gun. They're going back and forth. And then just as so Elwood finally gets on top. Now, I don't know how the hell she did this with a hole in her stomach, but she came out victorious. And she came on top and is about to blow Alvarez away for the cartel. All of a sudden, the FBI guy, he ain't dead just yet. Pop, pop. Put that bullet right in that head. She falls out. It's done. So now they're both all fucked up, sitting there with bullet holes in them. He got shot. He got grazed in the neck. And then homegirl got grazed in the shoulder. They're just sitting there fucked up. So now the FBI agent comes back with Carla. So they come back to the house and they're like, yo, what the fuck's going on? They were like, it was Elwood the whole time. She's the reason. She was the mole. They're like, God damn, this is tough. But during that time, the maid and the brother already set them up. So now they're coming with the cartel cavalry. So they're coming in a whole car. They got 3 hitters ready to get them. So now they go up to the house, right? As everybody, so now they're in there. The doctor's patching up the wounds and everything, trying to get everybody together. They're like, yo, we got to leave this house. We're getting ready to move. So now Alvarez starts getting jumpy. She's like, I need to go outside. I got to leave here. You couldn't protect anybody. I'm leaving. So she decides to go outside. Now she goes outside, right? But what they don't know is that the other people are already there, sitting there waiting on the house with a sniper rifle, waiting. And they see her pop her head out. And they're like, that's all we needed. And they start letting the shots fly. Now, I'm just going to say this before we go on. That sniper was not very good. Both of them should have been dead. They should have both been dead. I'm just going to put that out.
I would never, if she ain't, what happened, didn't happen, I would have never hired her again. Because hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Like, are you worth your salt as a sniper? You should have, you had the element of surprise and everything. You should have been popped, though. But thank God they lived. Thank God they lived. It's fine. So of course, now they start shooting. So now everybody's like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And then homegirl gets nicked. She gets nicked again. Mm-hmm. She gets nicked again. I'm like, God damn, this is crazy. You're just getting shot up, girl.
Accident prone.
So now the fight ensues. So now the sniper's up top and they got two guys coming after, like, no, we're going to get them. And then, of course, these dirty bastards, they kill the maid and the brother. They killed them. They were like, yo, where's our money? They said, yeah, here it is. Bow. This is the money.
Duh, they should have known they were going to get killed.
Bullets. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Like you deal with the devil, you know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So then, of course, as only an action movie can do it, they start to storm the house. They come after them. Boom, boom, popping shots. And they show some heroics, man. They get after it. And I don't know how he had all this. I guess they just come with military grade stuff because they had smoke gas and everything to try to get away from the sniper. I was like, damn, y'all are really geared up for this one. So then they're going out, right? So then they get to jump on the sniper, pop her, and then, of course, the two guys are in the house, and they take them off one by one as they hit. And so then, of course, to put a bow and everything, so they knew that there was one guy left, so they're like, we got to draw him out. So they decided to hide the other people in the stables, right? Or so we think. So Carla's in the stables, right? And the guy's looking for her. He's like, yo, he finds her. He's like, where's Alvarez? Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to fucking kill you if you don't tell me where Alvarez is. And of course, right before he puts that fatal shot, the FBI guy pops one in him. And then we find out they hid them in the tunnel that she got there all along. That's where they were hiding. Couldn't have written it better myself. Fantastic. So in the conclusion of the film, we find out that, so this is months later. Not like a month later, like maybe a month or two later, whatever it is. This is not too long. And we find out that Alvarez did do the testimony and that guy did get indicted because of that. So what she did matter. So she did actually get that together and led to many other indictments. So they did the thing there, right? So the other guy we hear that he's okay. And so now they're dropping off Carla and they're taking her. And then she's like, where are you taking me? You taking me back across the border? Because she just wants to go home. That's all she wanted to do the whole time is go back to Mexicali. But no, he said, no, I'm not taking you home. I am taking you home, but to another home. He takes her to a mother's house in Torrance and gives her 3 years worth of visas, work permits and visas, so she can go back and forth and visit her mother and continue her schooling. And that concludes the end of Safehouse.
Yeah.
Fantastic film. So guys, what did you think about it?
Hey y'all, it's your girl, Shonda Dunn, and I'm here to tell y'all that we now have merch up live. You can find some t-shirts, you can find puzzles, you can find candles, whatever you want, we got it. Come check us out at culture101podcast.com.
Oh, what do we think of the film?
So I'm not going to be too hard on it. It definitely was a Tubi movie, so I'm going to give it some grace. But I will say that there were a lot of holes in it that had me kind of pissed me off a little bit.
Are you a federal agent? What holes? What holes were there?
It was just a couple of things that kept happening. I'm like, that don't really make sense. Why would they do that? But it was more of a writing issue, not really production in the movie. So I thought that the movie was...
Lay it on us. Lay it on us. What was one? We need one.
I got to think on it.
Viewers want to know.
Because it was so...
That's fine.
Trivial.
That's fair. Okay, I accept that. What rating do we give?
I'm going to say 3.5.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. All right, damn, Leslie making a face, of course. That's fine.
Damn, Leslie
don't never like some shit we like. She'll never like shit we like. It's real.
It wasn't my type of movie, honestly. Like, I don't
Michelle
know.
Purcell wasn't in it.
You said what?
Michelle Purcell wasn't in it.
my girl. What was the main actress's name again? Alexandra?
Alondra Delgado.
Alondra Delgado. I loved her. Like I said, from the moment I saw her, I was like, oh my gosh, I recognized her something. Once I found out, I'm like, okay, she did a great job. I loved her acting wise. It just didn't hold my attention, even though it had like action and stuff in it. I just wasn't as interested in it. You know what I'm saying? Like it just didn't keep my attention enough to where I was like, I can't wait to see what happens next type of thing.
What did you need them to do that they didn't? I'm just curious. What did you need them to do that
like
they didn't?
the thing overall just wasn't, it didn't catch my interest. You know what I'm saying? Like I stuck it through for the sake of the Tubi review, but it's not just something that I would turn on my own and be intrigued enough to like watch and stick with it. So I don't want to be too harsh, but I'm leaning more.
Be harsh.
I'm leaning more towards 2.5 just because it wasn't my zhuzh. Like I was more so forcefully watching it, if you will.
God damn.
And not because it was a terrible movie, just because it wasn't doing it for me personally. So I don't want to like shade them or anything like that because I think they did a great job for what they did. Like Sean said, there probably were like some little holes and things that didn't quite make sense, which probably added to me not really being as interested. But yeah, like I give it a 2.5. But y'all should go watch for yourself. I'll be like Keith Lee. Judge it for yourself. Watch it for yourself. Like don't pay attention to me.
Shout out to Keith Lee.
Shout out to Keith Lee.
I'm gonna go with Sean. I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I was leaning toward a 4, but I mean I've seen certain stories of like this before, so like I kind of knew what to expect. Now I did like the twist of Elwood. I did not expect her to be the killer. I thought it was gonna be the second officer that came. I knew one of the officers was dirty. I just didn't know which one it was. So the fact that it was Elwood, like, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. Right. So I did like that. I liked that she kind of popped up like in that whole, you know, because they dealt with a lot of issues there. They dealt with border crossings. They dealt with like the prejudice of like Mexican folks and whatnot. And I felt like I liked that they dealt with a lot of those issues in a way. And then again, you know, it wasn't like she was just some destitute girl. She was in medical school. I like that. She was, you know, educating herself, but they dealt with the other side of it. Her brother was part of the cartel. You know what I'm saying? And then they dealt with like a lot of the parents being away. Because a lot of times that is a Mexican family structure. There will be parents that are away that can't, you know, see their children. So again, with all of those instances, and then like, you know, you did a decent job with the special effects. It didn't look crazy. Like stuff was choreographed pretty well. Like so, but I'm gonna give it a strong 3.5. I feel like people should definitely go watch it. It was a good time, and it was exciting because I was like, Carla, girl, you better survive. You better let this nigga kill you. I was like, I can't have it. I cannot have it. But no, I definitely enjoyed that one. I would probably watch that one again. Because I was torn between this one and another one, and I felt like I'm happy that I picked this one and not the other film. So, yes, indeed. But now we got to ask that question: does it do it for the culture?
I would say
the brown culture,
a culture.
Yeah,
there was a black lady in there.
Child, this was not our movie. It was definitely for our Latino brothers and sisters, but like Tristan just pointed out, all the many things that they touched on within that culture, I think it does do it for the Hispanic culture overall. Yeah, you know,
absolutely. And I like that, you know, they flipped back and forth between Spanish and they just did a lot of great things. I did. Like they paid a lot of correct homage, and I just feel like Latin folk watching this would be like, okay,
maybe that's why I started out rough for me because I was not prepared to read subtitles. You know, I'd be looking at
stuff. 3 or 4 subtitles. Most of that movie was in English. Then like 85% of the movie was in English.
Let me tell y'all something. When I see the subtitles at first, I fast forward to see if it was in English to know how much I had to pay attention to.
So I'm so done with you. I am so done with you.
I have to watch it.
Oh my God.
Sure. I exactly what level of attention do I need to give this movie to get through this? I'm like, okay, cool. Let me rewind it back. Okay.
For those who are gonna watch it, I promise you 85% of the movies in English. The parts that are in Spanish are in Spanish. When they're in Mexico, clearly they're speaking in Spanish. They don't make any sense for them speaking English.
It's literally like phone calls in Spanish. And honestly, if you know basic Spanish, you can even understand what they're saying. Like it was
probably
words. Like I knew what they were saying. I didn't even have to read the subtitles.
¿Cómo está usted?
Anyway, y'all. Until the next time, guys. Please like, subscribe, check us out on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. and give us those likes, send us those comments, see what's popping. But Leslie, if they were trying to talk to us and tell us about this movie or suggest another film that we might want to cover, how would they do that?
Send all your suggestions to our email at contact@culture101podcast.com.
All right.
Hit us up on the socials. We love to engage with y'all about the specific movie under the post.
We do like that. We like it a lot, actually. Honestly, I prefer it more than a listener letter because I feel like I can get right back to you. A listener letter, you got to wait a week before you even hear about it. But that's fine, too. And but Sean, it's the holiday season. Stuff's coming up. They were looking for some merch. How would they get it?
If you're looking for some merch for your baby mama, your baby daddy, your cousin, your mama, your kids, anybody that you find a Christmas gift for this
your
year,
abuela,
you can some Culture 101 podcast merch. You can find that at culture101podcast.com/shop.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, until the next time, y'all, we out of here.
Adios. Me llamo Leslie.
Like she.
Muy bien.
Goodbye.